Hello, so this is going to be a video on the British Mach 7 Helmet, and before I begin I'd like to thank everybody that donates to me on Patreon, all the super chats, because I basically was able to cash this out exactly of the Patreon money that I'd saved up over a couple of months, so thank you for that. It paid for it almost exactly. So it's a British Mach 7 helmet. This one, whoever's owned it, has done it up with the MTP cover and put some sort of helmet Hessian scrim type stuff on it, which is pretty effective at camouflaging these things. I might actually end up adding on some more sort of scrim and stuff myself, because it's got the elasticated sort of bands over the helmet, so I would be able to, if I wanted to add more sort of helmet cover to it. So the actual helmet itself, if I can sort of peel this up effectively, not brilliantly, but it's a sort of tan coloured helmet. You can see on the inside actually some of the colouring of it. But yeah, the Mach 7 helmets are tan, and basically this is kind of like a modern rated ballistic helmet. This is the one the British Army is currently issued with, but apparently at great expense to the taxpayer they need to buy a new helmet that doesn't really offer any more protection, simply because I guess, not that I can prove this, and it's, you know, allegedly, so I don't get sued, probably down to bribes and other stuff. So, what makes the Mach 7 helmet so good? Well, it's a Kevlar level 3A helmet as far as I'm aware, which means it's pretty much as good a helmet as you're going to get before you actually have to go into the sort of Russian titanium style helmets that are very heavy and uncomfortable. So I'll just put it on briefly and I'll demonstrate it with a gas mask in a moment. So I'm just going to push it down on my head so it goes down properly, because these helmets tend to want to always ride up. I'm not sure which size this one is, so let's thread that through there. The strap system's definitely better than the Mach 6 one. It's similar, but I'll demonstrate how it's different. So on this one you've got buttons in several places, all the poppers, so when you tighten that you simply pull this round to the point where you want to secure it, and then you can obviously secure it at different levels depending on how tight you want the helmet or whatever else. So as you can see, the good thing is this still has a bit of movement in it in the head harness, so it's been designed properly. It's sort of soft inside and comforts your head, but at the same time they've actually put the proper stuff in it, so it moves about a bit and you don't get brain trauma if something hits the helmet hard, like you would with some helmets where they're rock, you know, solid onto your head. So let's get the Mach 6 to compare it to. Right, that's your basic Mach 6 helmet. So as you can see, in comparison to the size, the Mach 7 is cut down a lot, even with this helmet and scrim on it. It's a much smaller helmet. So, what was the purpose of this? Well, the problem is the regular Mach 6, which lots of people are incorrect about, is not a Kevlar helmet, it's a ballistic nylon helmet. Now, supposedly there was a helmet called the Mach6A, which was black rather than being like the olive drab green, and that was the helmet that was sort of made, this design, but made into Kevlar. The problem being it became even heavier, you know, and it's already a big helmet. So the idea was that the Mach 7 would be, you know, Kevlar from the ground up, and it would be designed, you know, to be more slimline. Now if you see pictures of Mach 7 helmets without all this on, they don't really want to try and take all this off and put it back on again. If you see helmets of, like Mach 7 helmets without all the stuff on top of them, they are a lot more slimline than the Mach 6, but they offer the same level of protection with less weight. So overall much better helmets, and as I said, the liner inside is better as well. This one's got a very basic sort of liner and everything. It's similar, but it's like a much more improved one. The foam inside is softer rather than being hard foam. The strap system's much better, so you don't have to adjust it as much to do various tightnesses. So all around a better helmet. Now, as I said, the problem is everybody still thinks these helmets are like majorly bulletproof, and they're not. The idea of helmets, as I've covered before, is to protect you from shrapnel. How these helmets are better is they are ballistic helmets, so because they're Kevlar they will stop bullets, but when we say stop bullets, we mean pistol rounds at fairly close ranges. What we're not saying is rifle rounds at close ranges. Now, apparently the BBC incorrectly stated when these went into service, because, you know, the BBC not being quality journalism anymore, that it could stop a 7.62 by 39mm round from a Kalashnikov at less than 100 metres. No, you would be ventilated if you got a shot with that into level 3 Kevlar at that range. So what this helmet basically does is it protects you from shrapnel and pistol rounds, and if you're lucky, you know, rifle rounds at much further ranges, maybe where they're not coming in exactly straight with your head anyway. But overall, you know, the helmet does seem good. So what I'm just going to do quickly now is take it off, and I'll put an S10 on and see if we can get the helmet to work with an S10. Hopefully we can. But this is going to be my actual, you know, if something kicks off sort of helmet to wear. because it's, you know, offers me the best level of protection. It's actually a lot more comfortable than quite a few of the helmets in my collection. And if I just spin around, you'll probably be able to see that it does cover a fairly large chunk of my head. The other problem they fix in Mach 6 helmets is supposedly your Mach 6 helmets, if you were laying prone and you had all your body armour on and everything else, the helmet would keep wanting to lean forwards, blocking your vision and not letting you look down a rifle scope properly. Apparently that's been massively fixed this helmet. It doesn't ride down. I don't have all the Osprey armour or anything, so I can't really test that, but let's see if it works with an S10 to start with. Now, I'm aware with the old helmets you couldn't actually use the main strap with an S10, but we'll just see if it works here. I just need to find that metal ring. There it is. No, you could have the helmet on loosely with an S10, but it's not actually going to, you know, sit tight. So now what I'll quickly do is get the GSR down and see if this helmet would work with a GSR. Actually, I'll quickly get the Avon FM12 out as well, because the Avon FM12 is a bit more slimline than S10. But saying that, it might be the outserts that's blocking this, so let's just get those off. No, I think it is the ridge at the top, the MBC hood ridge is colliding with the helmet, so let's switch this to an FM12. Okay, so the FM12's on. Now let's see if I can actually get this to fit the FM12. That's more promising. As said, the strap probably won't fit anyway, because these straps apparently the soldiers were saying they had to improvise before. I had comments about that, saying that they had to make an elastic, kind of giant elastic band on it. But does that go in? It might actually go on the lowest setting, so let's just quickly check that. And my battery's about to die on the camera. Does this go in? It should do. It's just a bit difficult to do the button up with a mask on your head and everything else. This will do up, it's just I'm crap at trying to do the button without much training. Especially because some of these buttons don't feel like the highest quality ones in the world, where they don't quite click in. So let me just see if I can do that. Now, this is not the most comfortable done up thing in the world, but as you can see, the helmet is on, the strap's done up there, the strap's digging into my Adam's apple because of where it's done up, so I'd probably have to do that up on the looser setting, to be honest. But as you can see, it does actually fit with the helmet, which is a really good sign. So, yeah, all in all, very good. I'm kind of just tempted if I do this without the helmet on, if I can get it off now, the mask. Does this thing actually do up on its own thing, because I'm having a bit of trouble doing it? Ah, no, okay, so this is, that's interesting. The two buttons there are actually like connecting ones, and the other two are receiving ones, so in theory one could be on there and one could be on the other one, which was why I was having trouble. Anyway, the camera's going to run out of battery, but yes, Mach 7 helmets seem very good, but as said, they don't magically stop bullets, because they're Kevlar level 3A like most military helmets, but thanks to my patrons and other donators, I now have a very modern, combat-ready helmet.